Zangoose. What does Zangoose do in VGC? Why are we going to be using Zangoose today? Zangoose gets a couple really good abilities, being immunity and toxic boost. Immunity is better than ever, and so is toxic boost because of Glamora, but also being able to switch in on like toxics and other stuff like that is pretty nice. But the reason we like Zangoose is because he gets a lot of good support moves. You get access to Feint, it gets access to Switcheroo, it gets access to a bunch of really cool stuff that make it a great partner for mons that want to deal a bunch of AoE damage. I think the cool thing about Zangoose is it has multiple good Terra types as well. We're going to be either featuring a Terra Flying Zangoose to be paired with big Earthquake users, or we're going to be potentially featuring a Terra Fire Zangoose to be able to go for like big Fire Terra Blast, to be able to pin things that would normally wall it, things like Corviknight, things like Steel Terra Hydreigon, and things like Scizor. So Zangoose is a Pokemon that not only looks really cool, but I think it is just actually a decent Pokemon in the format. It gets a 115 base attack, gets a 90 base speed, and hopefully in today's team building guide, we'll be able to build around Zangoose to use it to its fullest potential. Terra Ghost is also a good option, but what we're going to do right now is we're going to hop right into Showdown and start adding the teammates to Zangoose. I think Zangoose, like we said, if we put the Zangoose in here, I think Zangoose is best built as a lead option. 90 base speed's faster than a lot of the mons in the format. 115 is actually a pretty high attack stat, and it gets a bunch of really unique moves. It gets a ton of special coverage, which we're not going to use, but it gets things like Counter, it gets things like Curse, it gets Detect over the Protect so you can't get imprisoned there. It gets access to Fling, Gunk Shot, it gets access to Quick Attacks, it gets access to Surf randomly if you want to pair it next to Gastrodons. It gets access to Taunt, Thunder Wave, Belly Drum, Endure, Final Gambit, Feint. You see, this guy gets a bunch of unique moves that a lot of mons in the format don't actually get. So we're going to be trying to use some of those when we build around Zangoose today, but I think realistically, we're going to be wanting to make Zangoose a mon that really utilizes Feint to be able to break through Protects and Quick and Wide Guards and just go for a ton of AoE damage with things like Goldangos and Garchomps. So let's make a little bit of an AoE comp, and remember guys, AoE is basically moves to hit multiple opponents. So big AoE user is going to be Garchomp here. I think Garchomp with that big Earthquake hitting all of your opponent's Pokemon, really good mon to add here. I think as well, Goldango, great AoE mon using that big Make It Rain. And then last but not least, to round out our AoE core here of good defensive and offensive typing is going to be Sylveon. I think Sylveon with Hyper Voice, is going to be an amazing addition to this team. So we have Hyper Voice here, we have Make It Rain here, we have Earthquake here. The last two spots are going to be dedicated to speed control, and then one more unique mon that we haven't actually talked about yet. So we're going to add the Murkrow for speed control. Murkrow's great, being able to go with things like Garchomp and Goldango to be able to pair very well with those. And the last mon here, right, the last mon that we're going to want to add that no one is seeing coming, it's going to be one of my favorite shinies of all time. You don't ever see me use shinies, but this one will be. It's going to be Clawitzer. I was actually really thinking about what I wanted to add into this slot, and I think Clawitzer actually is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Butterfree Game Rise Up. You've been a sub for a whole year. Mucho appreciado, my friend. Hope we're having a good time. Yeah, I really like Clawitzer here. It gets the Mega Launcher ability, which is very underrated. This Pokemon's Pulse moves have 1.5 power, but also Heal Pulse heals for a 75%. So if you can imagine this Clawitzer as any other Pokemon that's ever been used in competitive play, think of it kind of like a Comfey. So like this Heal Pulse is going to be absolutely amazing. And so what we're going to be doing is making like a very bulky Sylveon, making a very bulky Garchomp, and just Heal Pulsing those guys to back up to full every single turn, and just using those mons and their big AoE moves to just roll over and win the game. So it's really good. And again, we got to use the shiny one because it's probably my favorite shiny in every single. That is so freaking sick looking. Like, that is just so cool. So now that we have all our mons, the way that I like to do my team building guides is I like to just add a few moves. We don't need to work on Terra types yet. We don't need to work on EVs yet. I really like to take it this way because it doesn't make us get overwhelmed in trying to say that this Pokemon has to be built this way. Basically, we don't want to, try and fit a square into a round piece. We just want to use or get a good idea of what we want these Pokemon to be. So for the Zangoose, we know that we want Feint. As for the rest of the moves, I don't exactly know what else I want to do with the Zangoose. I'm going to leave this blank right now. As for the Garchomp, we know that we want Earthquake. And I was thinking about this Garchomp. Am I going to run like a Vested set? Am I going to run a Swords Dance set? Am I going to run like a full bulk set? I don't really know yet. I might even, like I said, I might run a Vested set on this Garchomp. It could actually be very good. Goldango, we know we want Make It Rain. We know we want the Make It Rain, and we're probably going to want Shadow Ball for the Mirror Match. That's not that hard. For Sylveon, we know that we're going to want Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice is going to get turned into a fairy, thanks to our pixel ability, which we'll add in a little bit, and just a general pretty good attack. And we're probably going to want the Terra Blast because we're probably going to have a weird Terra. As for the last couple moves, we know we're probably going to want Yawn, and we're probably going to want Protect. I think these are just a very standard Sylveon moveset, and I'm absolutely completely fine using it here. As for Murkrow, I think it's best to go something like Tailwind. Definitely still want the Haze to be able to stop Dozo teams, and a couple other teams that can get a little bit out of control. You also want to be able to haze away your Goldango stat drops. And then for the last couple moves, I'm a big fan of the Sucker Punch here and a Brave Bird. This is just how I like to play Murkrow on these sort of cores. And then for the Clotzer, we know we want Heal Pulse. We're probably going to want Water Pulse. And then I'm thinking, like, I'm probably going to run one on, like, a Leftovers over here. We don't know. I could run a Leftovers over here and Weave and Protects as well, but I could just throw, like, a Citrus Berry on this guy as well. So now that we have a better idea of some of these moves, let's go back and flesh out items. So let's just start with the Clotzer. I think a Citrus Berry is going to be a decent item to sit on. I think we're definitely going to want to go like Covert Cloak on the Murkrow. I think Covert Cloak's better than something like a Sash or something on this set, so I like the Covert Cloak here to be able to stop Fake Outs. Sylveon's going to be our Leftovers, so we can weave in Leftovers in between these Yawns and Protects. Goldango, I'm thinking Goldango could be built with Specs, but also like Choice Scarf Goldango is like really, really fun to use right now, so I'm going to try the Scarf. Garchomp. Garchomp's a bit of a weird one, right? We're using our Scarf, we're using our Leftovers, which means we don't really have a good situation to use Garchomp. I think I'm going to go with a Vest, and we can just haze away like any sort of, haze away from the Murkrow, any like stat drops from Intimidates here. So Vested Garchomp with like the Heal Pulse Clotzer, very, very cool stuff. And that leaves our Sash to be used on our Zangoose. And Zangoose right here. Now you may be thinking, we're looking at Zangoose, and we haven't really started doing our abilities yet. And so right now, I think we're going to use Immunity. And the reason we're going to use Immunity over Toxic Boost is because I think a Focus Sash is more valuable than a potential 1.5 boost to our attack. Like, let's say we switch in on, like, Poison, like a Toxic, or we switch in on a Poison Jab, soak some damage or something, or we come in on the Glamora that already has Toxic spikes up, and we get Poisoned and we can activate Toxic Boost. Well, that breaks our Sash and that makes our whole set that I'm going to actually plan for this Pokemon not nearly as viable. So I think that Immunity is better to preserve my Sash, and it just makes it so, like, for example, if I was playing against like a Mon that was like a Toxic Stall Mon, like that's their only set, like Protect, Toxic, and a couple other wall moves, they would not even be able to Toxic us to win the game, right? This makes us immune. Immunities are a very, very big thing in VGC, and just saying, hey, you can't hit me with this, that's a really, really big thing that you can use your advantage to switch in on. So I like the Immunity better in this situation. Garchomp, we're going to want the Rough Skin. Goldango as good as gold. We're going to want the Pixelate here. Note that every single time we go through this, we're going one way finishing a team, or like finishing getting all of our moves, then we're going back finishing some of our items, then we're going back finishing our abilities. It makes it really easy to understand exactly what you need to be focusing on at each time. Murkrow is going to be having the Prankster ability, and we obviously have the Mega Launcher here. Very, very good ability. So now that we have this, let's finish up our movesets. Since we have Citrus Berry here, I think there's nothing wrong with having Protect. And I think, realistically, Icy Wind is going to be good here for a little bit of mid-game speed control. I can Protect with one of my teammates, like my Sylveon or my Zangoose or something, go for an Icy Wind and just get like a speed drop on something like a Hydreigon to make it so I can out-KO it and KO it with Sylveon. So I think Icy Wind's good here. We could think about using another Pulse move if we wanted, but I think we're fine. Murkrow, we already got that done. Sylveon, we already got that done. Goldango, I'm probably going to make, like, we already saw the Scarf here, so let's finish it up. We're going to go with probably Terra Blast and just Trick. Standard Trick set. Garchomp. Vested Garchomp plays very differently. We're going to go Dragon Claw here. And then we're going to go Rock Slide. And you could go with Stompy Tantrum here, but I'm going to try the Terra Blast. I haven't been using that many Terra Chomps, but I think Terra Blast is going to be really, really good. You think Brick Break, huh? You like the Brick Break. You know, let's try Brick Break. I'm absolutely fine trying Brick Break here. Brick Break here seems good. I'm down to try that. And last but not least, Zangoose. So I already talked about wanting to use Feint, and we're going to sort this by physical to see what sort of big physical attacks we get. Body Slam is amazing in this situation. I love the Body Slam. So actually, I'm going to put my Body Slam down there. Let's put Body Slam here. I think we're going to want to use the Close Combat as well. This lets us hit, like the reason why I like Zangoose on this team is the Close Combat to be able to hit Hydreigon. Steel Terra Hydreigon specifically. If they go Fire Terra Hydreigon, Garchomp doesn't care. We can Rock Slide that. But Garchomp really struggles with fighting Steel Terra Hydreigon. Yes, we have Brick Break now, but the Close Combat's going to be the thing that we really, really want. And then the last move here, there's two moves that we can go here. I'm going to go with the counter for now. I'm going to go with the counter. Detect would also be nice if we wanted to cut one of the Close Combats, but like a mixture of Feint counter with a Sash, very, very good for the Zangoose. And so now that we have all of our moves, all of our items, we can start looking at our EVs. I think for Zangoose, you need to be full speed to actually make the set work correctly. And then realistically, what I would like to do with its HP stat is make it so we can 100% KO Don Dozo with a counter. So what we're going to do is go into our team builder here and basically plug in Zangoose. And we're going to see just how much HP investment we would need to KO a Don Dozo at level 50 with counter. So Zangoose, Don Dozo. Okay. And the reason we want to do it like this is so we can just get it off the board 100% of the time, every single time. Counter and feint's cool. Yeah, we also can like weave in the feint if we had to. That's another thing. We can talk about adding the feint. I think they would restore more than feint deals with leftovers, but we'll see. So Don Dozo here gets, like, realistically, they don't usually have this much health, but you can see 257 is a full investment here, and counter deals double damage. So 147 doubled. That's going to be like 290 something. That's already enough to KO Don Dozo, which means we don't need to put anything in HP, and we know that based off these calcs here. One other thing I want to do is I wanted to go into a team builder here, and I just want to plug these mons in here to show the team's type chart. So Zangoose, Garchomp, Sylveon, doesn't really matter the order, Goldango, Murkrow, and Klotzer. And I think it's really important to do this if you're not familiar with these things, to see your defensive typing. I think knowing your defensive typing is very, very important. That's amazing defensive typing. We're not going too far into multiple weaknesses, and for every single thing we have a weakness to, we have at least one Pokemon that can switch into. So on this team, we have 2 weaknesses to Electric on Klotzer and Murkrow. We can switch into Garchomp, which has an immunity. We have 2 weaknesses to Ice on Murkrow and Garchomp. We can switch in Goldango, which has a resistance. 2 weaknesses to Fairy on Murkrow and Garchomp. Again, we can switch in the Goldango again in that slot. And we can also think about Terrastalizing into a different stat as well to gain more immunities if need be. So it's really, really cool. Got to see someone else using the Maryland team builder. I'm the guy that started this thing being, like, seen. Like, I'm the guy that, like, tells people. I've been telling people to do that for years and years. So I think in this situation, realistically, because we know that we don't need any more HP investment to make the counter hit as hard as possible, we can just go with a full speed set, and you might as well throw the last 4 in here. Nothing really wrong with going with a full sash set on your sweepers. Like, if anything, it's sash. There's nothing wrong with going with the 2v2, 2v2 4 set. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I like it a lot. As for Garchomp, this is going to be a bit of a weird take here, but I think Garchomp doesn't actually need to be full speed in this format. I think it doesn't need to have, like, a ton of offense, especially if we're going to be playing it a lot more reserved, like a big vested mon should be. So this would already double into outspeeding Dragapult. This would double. Dragapult's stat is 213. This would double in being faster than the Dragapult and then Tailwind. We also would be faster than the base 100s from a +1 from the Icy Wind, or a -1 on them from the Icy Wind. So I don't actually think we need any speed. I don't think we need any speed. I think we're going to do about like 60 attack here. And then realistically, we can just go 252 in this slot and then make sure we're not getting diminishing returns on anything. So we wouldn't already be getting diminishing returns since we have Assault Vest. And the way you would get diminishing returns is by having your stat that you're trying to not get diminishing returns on be like doubled. So if this doubled into 210 and that's lower than 215, that means we're wasting some points in HP where they would be more accurately be used in special defense in that situation. But in this situation, because we have Vest, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, more events, so P2 doesn't get +1 special attack. I mean, it's not in the format, right? Does it matter if some support or special attackers have 0 attack? Sometimes that matters. That only really matters when you're taking into account, like, confusion damage and or foul play damage. That's what that stat's for. So especially on Pokemon that are weak against foul play like Goldango, you would love to be 0 attack. And it's probably worth the reset if you're taking it to a regional. But yeah, I think in this situation, there's absolutely nothing wrong with, like, let's plug this into a calculator. I just want to see how much damage we can mitigate from another Garchomp. So let's go Garchomp here. I would love it if we can get other Garchomp's Dragon Claws to be a 3-shot. That would be absolutely amazing. That would be amazing. So if we take a regular Garchomp and take a look at what like a 252 Jolly Garchomp would look like and give them Dragon Claw. Right here. You can see their Dragon Claws almost get the Oko on a standard Garchomp, but if we give ourselves like that, we can almost do it. Let's see what it looks like with Impish. That's like almost worth it. It's an 84% chance to get a 2-hit KO. Let's see. If we were to lose our ground typing, though, if we were to take away our dragon. So we want this number to be a 3-hit KO, which means we don't need that much. Yeah, thank you for the follow. So it's already a 41% chance to get a 3-hit KO after that pop goes away. So we just want to we need enough defense to make it guaranteed 3-hit KO if we lose our dragon typing. 0% chance to get a 3-hit KO off only 76. I like that a lot. So yeah, 76 is good. And then the rest can go, I'm going to put 4 here so it's not wasting any points. And we would also be outspeeding other Garchomps who just are 2v2, 2v2 set. And then the last one, 16 is Spadef. This is going to make us very, very, very bulky. It's still using our nature correctly. And we're not going to hit very hard at all. I want you to like understand that like it's not really going to be about sweeping with this Garchomp. It's about like living on the board as long as possible to like benefit from the heal pulses here. The Goldango is going to be very, very aggressive. You can actually click the button here. I like the Timid set. That's just my opinion. I'm a big fan of the Timid. I don't like losing speed ties on my Goldangos, and I'm a bit more of a bully in the Goldango mirror matchup if I know I'm timid, so that's what I like, and so we're just going to go with that. Other than that, Sylveon. Sylveon, I think you need about 60 points here, and the reason you want 60 points in your Sylveon, we can go plug this in here. So let's plug in like a Sylveon, and let's plug in like Pelipper. So one thing about Sylveon, we're going to go talk about Sylveon real quick. We can plug this in here. And we're going to check all the Pokemon's speed. So let's go all the way down to 60, which is actually a really, really common speed too. There's a lot of Pokemon that have 60 base speed. So you can see things like Sylveon, Oranguru, Grimmsnarl, Fargiraffe, Abomasnow, Tyranitar 61. You can see there's a lot of things that we're already sharing 60 with. And that sharing it goes all the way up to 65. So you have things like Umbreon, Vaporeon, Scizor, Pelipper. There's a lot of really, really good mons that share that 65. All the other evolutions, Frostmoth, Skeletors is 66. So let's take a look at actually, let's make it Skeletors. Skeletors is 66. All right, and then you set these guys to 50. And so I like speed creeping these guys. And the speed creep that I'm talking about is like, let's say they're just a 252 like HP, 252 like special attack or bulk set. I will go back to the Garchomp and fix that in a sec. Yes, good question. But basically, if you put in like 60 points here, you're gonna be able to outspeed that by like 2 tiers. So they'd have to go, if they're 252, 4, we outspeed. And if they're 252, 252, 244, 12, we speed tie. So a lot of people would just throw that 4 here, and this lets us outspeed that in some very niche situations. So I like to go 60 points in my Sylveon in that situation. Yo, congratulations. Just found an $1,800 check. That's crazy. Yo, congrats. But yeah, Garchomp, you're right. We did need to make sure the Garchomp wasn't impish anymore. So let's go back to that Garchomp calc. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you, thank you. Because I'd rather not be impish. You guys are 100% correct. So set these guys to 50. And remember, EVs are done different at level 50, which is why this is so important. Give that other Garchomp a 252. And we're looking at like a 252. We're probably going to have to put more points in defense then. 76. Dragon Claw. And make ourselves lose that dragon typing. So 30. Nope, I did it right. No, 69% chance. Okay, cool. We want this to not be able to get KO'd. And for some reason, it's not looking at 9%. Probably 156. 64. Let's check it out. 1.5. All right. 200 bits. Would you be able to talk about diminishing returns on defense again, please? I'm not familiar with that. I'll talk about it in just one sec. Yep. I will talk about it. Yeah, and I like the Terraboss on Sylveon. I like it a lot. 0% chance. Cool. 172 is the number that we need here. Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for letting me know. Like, that's actually really important. All right, so you can see 172. All right, and then we just take the rest of these points out of here. So we don't have as much special defense, but like it's absolutely fine. We have a vest putting in a ton of work in that situation. So let's talk a little bit about diminishing returns into specific stats. What we're going to do to explain diminishing returns is this. I'm going to plug in a Hitmonchan. Everyone knows what Hitmonchan is, right? Everyone should know Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan, the guy that looks like he has boxing mitts on from Gen 1. And let's make it level 50. Let's give it 252 attack investment. And let's give it the move close combat. All right. To better understand diminishing returns, we're going to plug in a Tyrogue, right? And the reason we're going to use Tyrogue, which is the unevolved form of Hitmonchan, is Tyrogue has 35 base in all of its stats, right? It has 35 in all of its stats. So this close combat, you can see if Tyrogue doesn't have any investment at all, it does 48.3, which when you're the attacker, you want to look at the low roll here. And when you're the defender, you want to look at like the high roll, right? But since we're the attacker, we're looking at the low roll here. So it does 48.3. And if we were to put 252 HP investment into this Tyrogue, it goes from 48.3 to 37.2. That's about 11% dip. And if we were to put those same 252 into defense, it goes from 48 to 30, right? That's 18%. So that's about, it's about 40 to 50% more effective going into just defense, right? And so you're probably wondering, like, why don't you always go into just defense? Well, that like 40% to 50% that we initially mitigated by putting those points into HP, that mitigates the same amount of damage to defense and special defensive attacks. So that's why it's usually better to put points into HP first on most mons than it is to just go straight into defense, because you cover for both defense and special defense at the same time. To an extent, it's not as effective, but covering for both to some extent is better than covering into just one in most situations, unless you're making a very, very specific EV spread. So the question is, like, how does that affect diminishing returns? Well, if we change this Tyrogue to a Blissey, right? If we change this Tyrogue to a Blissey and we set it to 50, you can see this close combat does 214 points, right? 214%, right? And if we put that into the defense stat here, that goes 214 to 103. That's over half. That's over half of the damage mitigated, right? Now, if we were to take those same points and put them in HP, which I said you should be putting points in HP first, Blissey has a really bloated HP stat. So you can see the diminishing returns I've been talking about coming into play here. It goes from 214 to 195. That's 20%. That's like actual 20 points, right? That's like a fraction of a fraction. So to get the same amount of damage mitigation as one little point here, so let's put 4 points in here. It goes from 214 to 207. To get that same 207, you'd have to go 92. So 4 points in defense, or 8 after your first 4, are worth 92 points. And so you're getting diminishing returns on that HP. To be just as effective as a regular point in defense, you're having to put a ton more points. And you can usually tell where that number starts to occur on most Pokemon if their respective defense stat is getting doubled by their HP. So that's why things like Blissey, Dondozo, Lapras, Snorlax, things that have those huge base HP stats, you don't really need to invest fully into HP, because you'd be more cost effective and you'd actually be better at mitigating your damage by putting points in the respective defense first and letting the big HP stat soak a lot of the damage. So hopefully that answered your question. So let's see, where were we? Garchomp got fixed. Goldango's done. Sylveon just has its speed investment. And I realistically think on Sylveon, you still want to hit as hard as possible with this thing. You could take a ton of these points out, make your Sylveon super, super bulky. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I like giving mine still modest nature. And then I like going for like a 188. And instead of putting these last 8 points in here and getting an extra HP point, you cut the last HP up into 4/4, and you put 1 in each respective defense. So there you go. Very, very simple, easy Sylveon set. Murkrow, also very, very easy. Just click that button up. You got to be jolly. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I like this sort of set on Murkrow. It lets it hit hard, lets it hit fast, and that's basically it. Clotzer is a little bit different. Let's think about what we want to get done with the Clotzer. I also want to talk a little bit about Sylveon. This 88 here would double in a Tailwind into outspeeding some Pokemon. It would outspeed base like 110s, which is good. Clawitzer, though, we want to at least get faster than base 100s after a Tailwind if we have to have like a Murkrow Clawitzer board. So let's go into Clawitzer here. And I always think when you're making your EVs, you should be taking a look at your speed stats first. So a +2 speed on this guy is going to look something like this, 158, and a base 100 Pokemons take like Salamence, for example. And let me know if you guys are liking this sort of content. You know, normally we like to do a lot of battles here, but I don't mind doing this sort of content to teach people how to do like teams and stuff like that. So if you guys like this stuff, let me know. But Salamence, for those guys who don't know, is a base 100 Pokemon. There's a lot of popular base 100 Pokemon in this format. It's a very, very popular stat line. And it gets to 167. So we want to get to 168 at a +2 from our Tailwind, or 2 Icy Winds. And that's just like my opinion. This is what I would be doing. 36 is not that much of an investment. And if you want to go like a 0 speed reduced one, you could also do that. But I like this just a little bit more. 36 is not that much of an investment. And you know that you're going to be also outspeeding other Clotzers if you ever see them. So I like this. And then from there, because we don't have a huge base HP stat, you can throw a ton in HP. And then from there, I think I'm going to want to go mostly bulk. I'm not really going to put anything in special attack just because I want to be able to heal pulse as much as possible. And realistically, let's think about this team and how it mitigates damage. If we go back to the team builder here, what is this team weak against? Let's look at Garchomp. Its weaknesses are Ice, Fairy, and Dragon. So things like Draco Meteor are probably some of the more common Dragon attacks. We already talked about how we're fine versus other Garchomps. Sylveon going to be weak into like Steel, Poison's usually a special attack in this format. And we're going to be Terra Firing, probably, which means we're going to have weaknesses to like ground, water, things like that. It's a lot of special attacks. Goldango weak to Ghost, Dark, Fire. Those are all predominantly special attacks. We have a big weakness to special attacks is what I'm trying to say. Whenever you're building these teams, I want you guys to be taking a look at not only the types that you're weak against. Think about, okay, I have a weakness to ice. Are there more physical ice attackers or are there more special ice attackers? Like think about the Pokemon that are actually using the attacks and then try to beat those Pokemon, not just the types that they have. So in this situation, I think that we get a lot more value in putting most of our investment into special defense. I think like a 212 with like a 4-4 split right here is probably fine. And realistically, we could be using our nature a little bit more optimally if we wanted to put some into our nature, but I don't really think that's necessary for this sort of team. And that's basically going to be it for this. Would EVI Ursaring be worth in place of the Zangoose? No, because we're not really using Zangoose as an immunity or like a toxic boost mon. We're just using Zangoose as a Pokemon with Feint to be able to break the way for our other AoE mons to work. So now that we have all of that stuff done, now the last thing we want to do is work on our Terra types. And I realistically think because we're pairing this with Garchomp, Flying Terra is going to be really good on a lot of these mons. So Flying Terra there, Flying Terra here. You could think about going with the double dip Steel if you really wanted to, but then you have to be modest in my opinion. So here, we already talked about Fire Terra here, and this lets us hit other Steel types that could give Garchomp problems. Really helps for Hydreigon as well. Murkrow, keep that Dark Terra to be able to go for big Sucker Punches if you need be. And this guy, you still want to go Flying. So I'm a big fan of Flying Terra. If you can't tell, it's probably my favorite Terra type. Let you be paired with Garchomp and do as much as you want. So this is the team. Hopefully it works. Go for a big Validate here. Awesome. So let's go try and win some games with it. Hopefully we win some. Does Sylveon wear Mystic Fire this gen? I don't think they did. I don't think it does. I think they took it away. And my hair is different. I dyed it a few days ago. So let's do this. All right, that should be fine. And play some games. Looks like we're going up against Trick Room in the first game with a potential for like big Annihilate energy with a big like Final Gambit. So I don't think there's a problem here with trying to blow up something. We could go Goldango and not get KO'd there. I don't think our Garchomp's actually bulky enough. We'd have to go like Zangoose Goldango. I think that's probably our best bet to be able to stop the Fartrap, and that would lose to Mousehold. But let's try it. I think it's worth a shot. And then I think something like Garchomp and Klotz are very nice together. You could also go Sylveon and just play a little bit longer game if you wanted to and just go for Yawns. But I think this is fine. What we could do is like if we think they're gonna go Annihilate, yeah, they got that right lead on us. It's okay. Are they gonna Pop Bomb here? Like, how much damage would that even do? Because this is a really weak board. Protect. Whoa! That's crazy, though! Oh my gosh, dude, never ever lucky. That's actually fun. Wow. Oh, we forgot to change Jartum to a Ground Terra. Crazy, bro. Can't believe they did that. That's so defensive. We have to go for a Rock Slide here, and I think we still try the trick. Follow me's fine. We're gonna take its Sash. Cool. Rock Slide. Oh, we just missed, bro. And then they're gonna go trick him up. Awesome. Sucks to be me, but it's okay. So we EQ here. We're gonna go Flying Terra and click Make It Rain. And then we're gonna try. God, the protects in these Trick Rooms are actually like really hard to deal with. If we don't KO that guy, we have to take a stat drop on that too. Unlucky. And then Torkoal's probably gonna come in here, and I don't think that matters that much. We'll see how much damage we take. We're gonna lose the Goldango, but I think we're okay. Actually, we're sashed. Think about this exactly. Torkoal's not that big of a deal. Like, I do not care about your Torkoal, bro. Garchomp's so freaking thick, bro. So thick. Nice. 3 turns on TR. This heal pulse is going to be so big. Eruption. And come on, Garchomp. Come on, Garchomp. Come on, don't crit me, bro. Oh my gosh, the thickness. Oh, yeah, dude, that's so sick. That is so much value. We have Protect on this slot, so you're going to Erupt and just, like, basically activate this for me. Dude, that is so savage. I mean, I will actually just EQ here. Right? Sombra, thank you. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a good time. Oh, the big... Dude, that's so sick. That's so good for me. That's so good. Thank you, though, for the sub. Really, really appreciate it. Oh, they crit my Garchomp. That's unlucky. Unlucky crit Garchomp. Torkoal goes down. We don't know what their last mon is. Is it Annihilate or is it Farger or King Gambit? Cool, that works. So we just EQ up. EQ's going to proc my Berry here, and then we'll just Heal Pulse again. I think that's still the play. Unless we wanted to double up into that slot, but I think the Heal Pulse is still really good. Helping Hand, dude. He wants that big damage. Sucker Punch. Look how freaking thick we are, bro. The thickness. Come on, come on. Get down with the thickness. Let's go. Oh my gosh, we won this one. We freaking won this one. This is the value, right? This is the value of good defensive EVs. Like, straight up. They got us beat 8 ways from hell in the first one, but like, that Garchomp set so thick. The Clods are set so thick. Pikaton with like redirection, so there's big Trick Room energy over there. People don't actually think that like Toedscool gets Trick Room, but it definitely does. Definitely does. And the rules for Season 2 are going to be the same as Season 1. So I think in this situation, we could definitely think about going Garchomp Zangoose here. Because they also have like the potential for Armor Rouge or like Wide Guards. We wouldn't be able to feint that, but I think that's okay. Against these sort of Trick Room cores, you usually just want to go Sylveon and just yawn them out. But I think that like Zangoose Garchomp's really fun. I think Clodsir's great for being able to wait out the Trick Room, and it's pretty good versus Gastrodon in a lot of late game situations as well. We don't need Murkrow in this situation. I think Sylveon's probably a better bring. And being able to go like a Fire Terror, we're probably going to be tearing our Zangoose though, right? Because we can't realistically stop this Trick Room. If we can't stop the Trick Room, let's think about what we're going to do instead then. Maybe just like a Sylveon, Goldango, Clawitzer, Garchomp lead. Let's try that. I can't stop the Trick Room, right? So I like this lead. This works for me. So Fire Terror is absolutely amazing here. We can trick the Gastrodon. So I love the Fire Terror here. It's so nice. It might not get the KO, but like it's a lot. And then we're just going to go for the trick into the Gastrodon. Mungus is a good Pokemon. Mungus is a very, very good Pokemon. So let's see what they want to do here. They should be playing defensive. I wouldn't be surprised to see King Gambit pivot out for Armor Rouge. I kind of wanted to double into that slot with like Shadow Ball. I kind of want to do it, but I don't think we have to. I think if we can neuter the Gastrodon, we're going to be in a good spot. Technically, we could just yawn that guy, though. Like, Fire Terra yawn here and just go for a trick in that slot. That's probably just slightly better. Choice Scarf, got the lefties. Nice. Water Pulse, okay. It's SD. So we just want to protect with Sylveon this turn and pivot out Goldango for probably Clawitzer. Because we don't want to just fucking die. He's probably going to Sucker Punch us, right? Yeah. If they want to go for a Dark Attack, they can. They should know that we have Terra Fire. Like, this is staring them in the face. Sucker? Sucker Punch? SP baby, let's go. Dude, no Sucker! Dude, bye-bye. I'm so sad for you. I can't believe they just wanted to, like, I'll just stay asleep. It's fine. All right. It feels weird not going after the Gastrodon, but, like, we don't have to right now. I can't believe they just stayed in, bro. That was such a weird play. Hey, you know what? Shout out to them. If you don't know, you're in fear. You know, you don't. If you don't know, you don't know, you know? You join us, how's it going? Grass Terra. There's the Entity Pivot. Ah, it sucks. Water Pulse, big damage there. So Hyper Voice and Make It Rain will get the KO on the Entity. Yeah, I like having my hair curl like this. I like it, personally. So we know they got these two plus in a Sleep King Gambit that hasn't even started its Sleep turn. So like Garchomp will clean that guy up easy peasy lemon squeezy. The rest of their mons also take big damage from Garchomp. That Gastrodon's going to be kind of sad. It's stuck using Water Pulse, by the way. So, like, it has to just continually water pulse, which means, like, Garchomp realistically should be fine. Fire Terragastro with a Storm Gem makes sense. Yeah, I've used it. Is there ever a time when a stat neutral nature is used in VGC? Not really. There's been, like, maybe one situation where that was the case, but it doesn't actually ever happen. Sylveon's very, very good in this format. Bro, that's going to be a lot of damage. That's going to be a lot of damage. And you can totally go for, like, the fake out. But I wonder how much I actually care about it. Like, it's a good question. Like, I think you just go Hyper Voice, make it rain again. You can go fake out Sylveon and go for Trick Room here. But we've seen all your mons. You have a Choice Scarf Gastrodon. Like, we're big chilling over here. Choice Scarf Gastrodon eventually loses to Garchomp. And let's see what they want to do. Fake out here, Soak to make it rain. Into, like, next turn I can just protect and do another make it rain. Oh, follow me. You're dead. Yeet! Oh my goodness. OMG. Yeah. We're gonna go Terra Blast into the King Gambit. So the Sylveon's good. Yeah, you just get this guy off the board. He's the last guy that's, like, threatening, I think. Terra Blast here. They don't know that we have Garchomp, so if they lock themselves into water attack, like, Garchomp's fine. Let's realistically think about what we want to do. There's no real reason to stay in and make it rain here. At all. There's nothing. I mean, we can use these other attacks too, but they don't really do anything. I'll just pivot out. Earth Power. Okay, lock yourself into Earth Power. Not bad, not bad. Big damage, though. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We win. Yeah, I like this team. I think this is a good team. We haven't really used that much Zangoose yet, but I think the Clawitzer is, like, really, really good. I think Clawitzer is, like, probably almost better than the other mons. And take those wins. Cool. I don't think you need the Quick Attack. I'm not a big fan of Quick Attack on Sylveon. Like, I'm really, really not that big of a fan of Sylveon with Quick Attack in this format. I just don't think there's a need for it. All right, let's make Zangoose work. That was the whole point of this, right? Was to make Zangoose work. Okay, Zangoose can definitely work here. I love there's no Entity, so, like, the whole point of the Zangoose is to, like, Flying Terra to be able to pair with the Garchomp, and, like, that's actually good here. First time for everything. So Garchomp Zangoose is good. They're probably going to be able to get Tailwinds and Screens up. That's another reason why Garchomp's great. I think Goldango can still definitely come. And then, like, I know this is wrong, but, like, I'm going to go Clawitzer. I know that Sylveon's better. I 1000% know that Sylveon is a better pick. They, like, really can't do anything to this Sylveon. But I'm going to go with the Clawitzer. All right, here we go. Let's go. Zangoose Garchomp popping it off. And are you going to Grass Terra me? Like, realistically, like, are you? I do not mind a Body Slam here. And, like, a pivot into this slot's not bad. We can open up one Rock Slide. Fake out a Garchomp's fine. You take that damage all the way to the bank. But Dragon Pulse, bro, we thick, though. Dude, you see how thick we are? Dude, you just Dragon Pulse me, man. Oh, dude, I'm gonna kill it with Feint, bro. Bro, in before Reflect. Ah, it's sick. Let's pivot in the Goldango, right? Let me think about this. You're gonna Spirit Break this slot? That's fine. Dude. This Garchomp is so freaking good. I think Feint kills it, right? Bro, Zangoose though. Parting Shotgun is gold. Hey, dude, value. What are you gonna do now, huh? 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 Where are you looking? Oh. Dude. Bruh. What are you gonna Terra to? Ghost, right? You're gonna Terra Ghost? Let me think about this. This is a very important turn in this game. Wide guard. Bro, we could have fainted if we wanted. We could have fainted if we wanted. Don't have to. Get a para? Never lucky. We got this one, though. We got this. Like, what's your last mon? What is it? What could it possibly be? It has to be Kilowatt, which, like, is good versus Garchomp sometimes, but I think we can, like, weave in one thing with the Claws here. What? We made ourselves Flying Terror. Oh, Ghost. There's the Ghost. Awesome. Sucker Punch. Ow! Oh, that Rocky Helmet, though! The Rocky Helmet, though! Salt Cure. I'm actually happy they're taking this guy out. Like, that's good for me, right? This is actually good. Mouse Hold. Okay. $150. It's stronger to actually Rough Break. No reason to unbe Dragon anymore either. Might as well just save it. Oh, never lucky. Bro, they're going after the Garchomp though! Dude! 3. That's crazy. 4. That's so much damage. And they're gonna be able to Salt Cure my Zangoose, which I'm mad sad about, but like I think Feint gets the KO there still. Yeah. There's a Protect. Awesome. Feint! Let's go! Dude, that's so sick, though. That's still so sick. I love this, man. I love it. The right plays the double into that slot. Technically, we do this to make it so we take less damage from the Salt Cure, right? No Feints. Oh, okay, I was gonna say no paralyzes. Yo! We take those, though. Dude, that's so clean, man. Feint is so good. So good. Dude, Zangoose big busted. Zangoose absolutely big busted. Like, people just don't know how to play around this thing. If this was Mouse Hold, they might know how to play against it. But, like, against Zangoose, they ain't never seen something like this. What does Feint do? How does it work? So, Feint's a really good move because Feint nullifies Detect, Protect, and Quick Wide Guard. So if they have Wide Guards, which they should be wanting to use, that guy used Wide Guard against this team to stop our Garchomp, Goldango, Sylveon. We can break those and break Protects and still deal the damage. And it's stabbed. It's like a 30 base power move, yes, but it's stabbed. So it's usable. It's definitely usable. So we take those.